Yo, well, welcome back to the channel. uh, the latest episode of Yellowstone, episode 12, was a doozy. I was not expecting uh, what happened there. So if you haven't watched the latest episode, I encourage you to watch it. This video will have spoilers. So, was not expecting Colby uh, to die the way that he did. Um, But honestly, like that scene between Colby and Teeter was, I mean, listen, you can say whatever you want to say about Taylor Sheridan and the whole situation between him and Kevin. But one thing is true when it comes to Taylor. He he absolutely knows how to write a show. And I am I literally have been reading his scripts, and I'm just so floored by his talent and the words he uses, and it it's a beauty to watch on screen, to read on a piece of paper. And I'm glad that he has written these episodes and created the show. It's coming to an end. I'm really enjoying. I'm just trying to savor every episode at this point because it's ending. And this episode was really probably one of the more emotional episodes for me for this season, surprisingly. And because I thought that perhaps the first episode of part two would have been the most emotional, but this one takes the cake. And I don't know if it's because we've lost John, and then to lose another, it feels almost impossible. Like what the hell? So in my last video I made mention about the dream and the sacrifice that this family has had to endure for this land. And I just it keeps kind of resounding in me, especially after losing Kobe, and how like it just the land just keeps taking from this family and the people around them and the people that they love. And I just it's just when is enough enough? When do we stop fighting for the land? When do we just stop and cut our losses and walk away? I guess that's the question for this part of the season for Yellowstone. And it's it's like we lost John, we lost Kobe, but if we think about all the other people that this family have lost, Elsa. I literally just watched 1883, the first episode of 1883 yesterday, and just thinking about just so much loss because of this pursuit of this land and keeping it and preserving it. And it just is like the overarching question is, when is enough enough? When the dream takes everything, when do you lay it down and walk away? Do you lay it down and walk away? Do you keep fighting? How much of it do you give up? Do you compromise? These are questions I have been asking myself when it comes to this show. And it certainly is the question, right? Is like who's going to stay standing at the end of this, and would it have been worth it? So I just wanted to just say that, Denham Richards, thank you for your role in this show. The fans love you. The bunkhouse loved you. The Daltons loved you. Teeter fell in love with you. And yeah, I hate that you had to go out, but I respect it. I respect how you went out saving another cowboy. And so, yeah, I think this installment of the review of the show is in honor of Colby, and what an amazing, cool character he was. Man, he just brought some really cool stuff. And so especially between him and Teeter. So that whole scene, forget it. I can't even talk about it without crying. So cheers to you, and we say goodnight to your character. The episode was really, really an emotional one. We finally saw Rip kind of tearing open a little bit. We haven't really seen much outward emotion from him in regards to John. So this situation that happened in the ranch with Kobe, I think kind of pushed Rip kind of over the edge, and he was already kind of on the edge, and I think that this kind of tore something open in him even more. And I love the way Beth the way they wrote Beth in this episode, because obviously the men in her life are dealing with such incredible guilt and loss, and she being, I don't know, I just saw something in her that I liked in this episode, and maybe it's a mother in her, maybe it's the wife in her, but the way that she came across in this episode was really, really great. Jimmy finding out about John, that whole scene between Jimmy and Travis, who is played by Taylor Sheridan. Yep, yep. I was a mess. I was a mess there. I was a mess with Kobe, Ryan finding out from Rip, taking that phone call, and then having to tell Teeter. Yeah, that this whole episode was just really hard to watch for sure. Obviously, things are moving right along, and Jamie is covering his tracks. Like, I don't know how that this is all gonna go down, but then the next preview was pretty intense. I'm sure Beth has a couple cards to play when it comes to Jamie. We also got to see Casey confronting Grant. He was the one who did the job, killed John, confronting him in his car with his daughter. Casey did not give two about what needed to be said there in front of his daughter, and pulling a gun to his daughter. That was really, really like crazy. This is a really hard one, hard episode. That's all I have to say. It's just a mess, just a real mess, a real crazy, crazy mess. And we have two more episodes left. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to wrap this up, but I'm sure they'll do a fine job doing that. And that's all I got to say. Let me know what your thoughts on the episode. Kobe will be missed. All right. Talk to you soon.